Hello, everyone. Welcome to the What's Your Next podcast. We're glad to be back. We're going to be talking some book recommendations. We got a guest today, and Becky, our weekend BFF, which is BFF Becky. I worked currently last few 12 months, and maybe some months off, because maybe some hot months. It's a world ending. We just got in crack prize. So we're going to do some recommendations. So Becky, tell us what we've been up to, and I'm recommending which ones.
Yes. So I've been doing my podcast, loving it, reading a lot of like monster romance per usual. But for some reason, this last month, I read like two tearjerker books in a row, not wanting to, but of course I did. And I don't know about you, but when I read something that I know is going to be a tearjerker, I kind of just have to finish it all at once because, like, I don't need the sadness prolonging.
Wait,
Do you
you
know what I
got
mean?
the presents? Let's keep going.
Yeah, I just like, and I know like sometimes people say like crying is good, right? Like you're getting toxins out with your tears. So that's how I'm viewing it. So the first book that I read that I unexpectedly made, I did not realize it was going to be what it was. If He Had Been With Me, which is a YA book kind of about a boy and a girl, and they like grew up together and they were in love with each other, and then like but they were in like in different crowds, and so like when they finally get together and it ends in tragedy, and it was just like ripped my heart out, so I had to. Yeah.
This was a Leonard McDaniel kind of like upgraded version of it.
Yeah, but I think it's been like it was like kind of taking it was popular on Book Talk, and I read it from based on the recommendation of one of my guests who actually has a book out called You Belong Here. It's a YA graphic novel romance, or YA. There is a romance in it, but it's a graphic novel about like coming of age, if you will. And so she recommended it, and I was like, okay. And then I read it, and then I was like, I have to finish this in one night because I'm going to be depressed for 2 weeks if I do like a chapter a day or something. And so, but I will say, I mean, it was good. Like, I did enjoy it. So, yeah.
So you know why I child with it. And if you're a child of the 90s, you probably have heard of Leonard McDaniels, which is OG, for Don Green, for
Yeah.
later Tearjerker. We had the $2 bugs. I don't remember how much they cost. They probably $2 or less. Don't
Mm-hmm.
consume there as less. $2 firework. It's a mock
Yes.
rumor. It's Nicholas Farr.
It is. And it's like one of those things where, like, I feel like I like maybe the previous month, I was like, do I still have emotions? Like, do you know what I mean? You know, when like, you're kind of like you're feeling like a robot day in and day out, and you're like, do I still have emotions? Let me just like read something really sad to make sure I do. And so there was that book. And then the next book I just finished last night was called A Curse for the Homesick by Laura Robson, which it was so weird. It's a speculative romance like fiction, and it's about this island. It's about this. It takes place in modern times, but it's about this island where the women on this island, like this Scandinavian island, they have this curse where if they wake up with like three scars on their forehead, if anytime someone looks at them, they turn to stone. And like it's like an island with this curse, and it's so messed up, but like it ends up being about this woman who like obviously wants to leave. Like she doesn't want to live there with this curse, but the love of her life is on the island and he can't leave. And so it's kind of about like the give and take of that. And it's like it's very dark. Or no, it's tragic. It's tragic. It's not like dark in the sense of like a dark mafia romance. It's not dark like that. But it is just like I was like in tears when I read it, and I thought it was so good. And I know it's probably not, I don't know. Like it's like not something that I'm like, oh, if you're having a really bad day, go read this book. That's like, I'm like, there's other books for that. But like, it was just, I don't know. I was just blown away with it because it was just so, like, I thought the idea was so original, and it's like not something you'd see on TV. It's not something that you would see kind of in traditional kind of Harlequin kind of romance book talk world. It was just this like original, like kind of where did this idea come from story, but I was like blown away by it. It was so well done. And again, if you need to remind yourself that you still have emotions, definitely read A Curse for the Homesick.
I think what on. I think I was a like a tearjerker and stuff. All
Yeah,
right.
it was a good tearjerker for sure. Yeah, that I recommend maybe more than If He Had Been With Me, just because it's not. I don't know. It kind of doesn't delve into maybe things that are more triggering, I think, than If He Had Been With Me. But so this was just like an original speculative romance of like, it was just really great to see like, oh, this is what the romance can be. Like it's more than we think. And I was very impressed with it.
And so you also did some hot parts there. So it was some like hot fun of us because it's okay to have some tearjerker moments.
Yes.
When there's also like this
So for me, my palate cleansers were 2 books in this series called the Monster Resort series. One
are they with
is
jokes that are like these like cold platter?
yes.
What?
Basically, it is my dream premise that I've been looking for forever. It's basically in like worlds where like all of these monsters, they go to this like resort and it's just fun resort like hijinks. The first one is called No Not About It. They're both by this author Elliot Ason, I think. I did just review No Not About It with Sarah on my podcast because it was the book I read after If He Had Been With Me, and I was like, this is exactly what I need. It's so good. It's just a woman goes to a monster resort because she wants to hook up, but she ends up mating with the last saber-toothed tiger shifter on the planet, and it's just like a lot of great sex. It's great. And then yesterday I just read a book called Base Desires about 2 people who work at the resort, and they've been like looking at each other for a while, and then they finally decide to hook up, and it was just delightful fluff. Like lots of nodding and Omegaverse. It's disgusting in the best way possible. Very lot of fluids. It's hilarious. So if you're like into that, like if you just need some fluids to wash away the tears, a different type of fluid. I've been like, it was a premise that I have been looking for such a long time, was monster resorts, and so I was like, this is good palate cleanser.
Oh my gosh, I love the monster resort. And you definitely have to come back and talk to us about Megaverse. Because maybe people don't know what a Megaverse is. I didn't really know. I think I read 1 or 2.
Oh my god.
It's a whole new world that we got.
Speaking of, yes, in my Tearjerker era, I think I'm gonna leave it for a while, but I have been in my Megaverse era since Christmas, and I just am knee deep. I'm finally reviewing an MPreg book which is male pregnancy.
Turns we got it. So we're gonna win this out.
Yes, sorry.
No. We're gonna do a special episode that might be a little longer than 10 minutes. You're gonna talk a little bit, and maybe a little second talk about for the paid edition a little bit more in depth.
Yes, I mean it's an absolutely, and I feel like people who are probably in it are listening to me now, and they're like, duh, it's been around for years, and but I just realized, I just got into it, and I've heard of it, but that has been blowing me away too.
Well, we'll come back. So be on the lookout for upcoming episode of Metaverse. From the basics to the intermediate to the advanced level. So we'll do a full levels for it. So Becky, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Tell us where you can find your podcast.
Yes, you can find my podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. It's called Too Stupid to Live. I am on Substack and on TikTok at TSTL Podcast. Yeah, and I hope everyone tunes in, and thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.